Good evening. This is CTV News for June 17th. I'm Michaela Newton.
And I'm Marquette Shepard. Thanks for joining us.
And we begin with breaking news tonight. A verdict has been reached in the trial of Harold Landon III.
CTV's Bryce Parker joins us in the studio with more.
So a little over 45 minutes ago, a jury found 34-year-old Harold Landon III guilty on a single count of first-degree murder. Landon now has been convicted of the 2023 death, disappearance, and dismemberment of Miriam Torres Silla, a former teacher at the Dora Kennedy French Immersion School in Greenbelt. The trial that began just a week ago now ends in a favorable verdict for the prosecution. State's attorney and now county executive-elect Aisha Braveboy prosecuted the trial herself in what seems to be her last act as state's attorney. Earlier, we got the chance to speak with Miriam's older sister, Fatima, who traveled from the Ivory Coast to testify and be present at the trial.
It was important to come and to be here with all the people involved in this case. It's not about Mariam today, because we are Muslim. For me, she is already with God. But it's about other people, to protect each other and to have a responsibility, collective responsibility, to not let this guy outside, and because he can kill somebody else.
Earlier, I also got the chance to speak with the family of Miriam Torres Silla further, and they told me that she was a woman who was committed to giving. She found people online who were struggling and would help them however she could. She constantly donated clothes to children back in Africa, and specifically in the Democratic Republic of Congo. She was paying the tuition and housing for 4 to 5 reformed gang members who were turning their lives around through education, a detail that her family tells me they were unaware of until after her death.
All right, Bryce, thanks so much.
Wow. Now, Bryce, you were in the courtroom. Can you tell us a little bit about the mood as the jury went into deliberations, and what type of sentencing is Landon facing?
So it was a very somber mood. Anytime you see, you're seeing crime scene videos, especially if something so graphic like dismemberment, there was tears from both sides of the aisle, from the jury. And then also Harold Landon III will now be facing a maximum sentence of life without parole.
Pretty clear cut with the feeling and the mood before they came out with the guilty verdict?
Yes, and the verdict came back very fast. They went to lunch, came back at like 2 o'clock, came back, they spoke, they went to deliberate, and came back in at about 3 o'clock.
Well, our hearts are definitely with the family. Thank you for the great reporting.
Bryce.
Well, when one political door closes, another opens, and Tara Jackson is walking through it. After serving as Prince George's County's acting executive, Jackson is now the county's new state's attorney. The appointment comes as Aisha Braveboy prepares to be sworn in as county executive this week.
Jackson, a former prosecutor herself, was then appointed by a circuit court judge to complete Braveboy's term as the county's top prosecutor.
What I can tell you is I understand the job of state's attorney and the importance of the office to individuals in our community who are victimized by crime, the importance of the office to the accused in our community, and the importance of the office to our community as a whole. Our residents want to be safe, and I want them to be safe. My philosophy is simple. I will always try to do the right thing.
Jackson will be sworn in tomorrow and will complete the remaining 18 months of Braveboy's term, but says she won't seek the office permanently in 2026. And it was a special day in Prince George's County's council today as its newest member was sworn in.
Byron Scott has our story.
I state your name, Shayla Adams Stafford.
In the packed county council hearing room this morning,
And that I will be faithful.
And bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland.
And bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland.
the newest member of council was sworn in.
For Prince George's County.
For Prince George's County.
Shayla Adams Stafford is now District 5's council member.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Adam Stafford fills the seat vacated by then District Council member Jolene Ivey, who is now an at-large member.
I cannot be more grateful to every single person that helped me get here. There's so many faces in this room that knocked doors, made calls, supported in other ways, helped watch one of my children. I mean, literally, this was a community effort.
Adam's swearing in also means that for the first time in more than a year, there are 11 members on council.
Council Chair Ed Burrows and his team will have the leadership.
And while that might leave at-large member Calvin Hawkins in the minority, he says he's hopeful moving forward.
I want you to understand and the community to understand with our incoming county exec, Aisha Braveboy, from the school board to the county council to the county exec law, they have the individuals in place they need to move the county in the direction they believe we should go in. And I'm looking forward to working with them, honestly.
Adam Stafford is a business owner, and in 2020 she was elected to the Prince George's County School Board.
I see the greatness that can be, and so that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be striving, all right? And so, I got to get my teacher voice on sometimes. We're going to be striving, striving in all things.
As for the future, Adam Stafford says she's looking forward to working with the various stakeholders.
I don't see a lot of the deficit. I see a lot of the opportunity, and so I'm so grateful to everyone that is going to be part of our team to commit to move forward in ways that are going to create an equitable community here in District 5.
Byron Scott, CTV News.
Well, new troubling details have emerged tonight around the county school district's new interim superintendent's work history. This is Dr. Shawn Joseph. He's the interim superintendent for the Prince George's County school system. According to reports, while serving as the superintendent of the Nashville school system, Joseph was criticized for not handling multiple sexual harassment complaints that were made against other employees. Other reports show that Joseph hired friends and paid them above the school district's approved pay scales. County Council Chair Edward Burrows says he isn't concerned about the controversy surrounding Joseph.
I looked into it. I saw that there were over 30 professors at Vanderbilt, which is the #1 educational policy institution in our country, who came to his defense. I spoke with members of his Board of Education down there who came to his defense. Ultimately, when you're trying to bring equity in the South, sometimes not everyone's on board with that.
And the county will conduct a national search for a permanent superintendent of PGCPS.
Another change happening in the county. County Executive-elect Aisha Braveboy has named Melvin D. Powell Deputy Chief Administration Officer for Public Safety in Prince George's County. Powell is a 25-year veteran of the Prince George's County Police Department. In his role as DCAO for Public Safety, Powell will be responsible for oversight of all public safety agencies, including PGPD, Fire and EMS, the Department of Corrections, and Homeland Security. Powell is replacing Barry Stanton, who has held that position since 2021. He will also serve as the liaison for the Office of State's Attorney and the Office of the Sheriff.
Well, tragedy struck earlier this year that claimed the life of an innocent 3-year-old girl. Now a new bill is being introduced by Prince George's County Council Vice Chair Crystal Oriata that would reform police pursuit policies in the county and how they work.
I miss my sister. Yes. I miss my sister every day. Nothing nobody could do could bring her back. I want to see her.
An emotional day for the Harrison family as they remember the life of Zoe Harrison, a 3-year-old killed in District Heights. It happened earlier this year on Addison Road South when Zoe was riding with her mother when their vehicle was struck by a driver fleeing a police traffic stop at high speed.
On March 7th, my Zoe Rosemarie Harrison, my daughter, my beautiful, vibrant, sweet, and 3-year-old, was taken from us.
A new bill known as Zoes Law, introduced by Vice Chair Crystal Oriata, is about making police chases safer.
Sadly, when this happened, a lot of you in this room know that there were multiple cases within a month time span. We saw a tragic incident where a police chase led to a death of an individual that had no involvement with what was going on.
The bill lays out clear rules when officers should chase and when it's better to use other tactics to make an arrest. It also adds more oversight with required annual reports and a new review board that will look into every crash tied to a police pursuit.
No amount of money or apologies can bring Zoe back, but what we can do, we must do, is to ensure that her death is not in vain.
Under the new law, chases will be limited to felonies, violent misdemeanors, or cases where someone is in immediate danger.
Prince George's police have charged an Upper Marlboro man with murder. 33-year-old Aaron Xavier Jefferson has been charged with the murder of 31-year-old Daquan Klinkskill of Capitol Heights. Police were called to the 400 block of Warfield Drive on June 7th for reports of an unresponsive man. When they arrived, they found the victim in a parking garage suffering from gunshot wounds. Mr. Klinkskill was pronounced dead on the scene. Jefferson is charged with first and second-degree murder. Anyone with information regarding this case is asked to call Crime Solvers at 1-866-411-TIPS.
Well, a member of the Moore administration is facing backlash after reports of him driving under the influence. According to court documents, Human Services Secretary Rafael Lopez was charged with a DUI in D.C. back in January. The officer did not administer a walking sobriety test because Lopez was wearing a walking boot. However, the officer administered a breath test where Lopez blew at .097. The legal limit in the district is .08. Now, Lopez said in a statement that he takes full responsibility for his actions, and his next hearing is scheduled for August 13th.
An Ecuadorian citizen pleads guilty to importing heroin into the United States. The suspect is 53-year-old Fabricio Garces Bedoya. According to the plea agreement, the suspect served as a foreign source supplier of heroin for a drug trafficking group that operated here in Maryland. Garces Bedoya helped a courier with breaking down bundles of heroin into smaller packages. A narcotics canine uncovered 584.5 grams of heroin on the courier. Garces Bedoya faces a maximum of 20 years in federal prison. You're watching CTV News. I'm Marquette Shepard.
And I'm Michaela Newton. Still to come, state officials and the heads of nonprofits came together highlighting a growing problem with senior citizens across the country and here in Maryland.
After the break, find out how you can protect your loved ones. Back in a moment.
Okay, Dad, look at you.
I look nice, don't I?
I see you.
Yeah.
Adding your own flavor to fashion comes with age.
Let's go.
Oh, man, that's the best one yet. Forgetting how to add doesn't. Finding it difficult to work with numbers may be a sign of Alzheimer's.
Dad, are you okay?
An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one.
High school. Yeah.
Hey, Dad. Do you want to talk about what happened earlier?
Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's. Some things come with age. Some others don't.
Love is a lesson that doesn't end. It knows no conditions, so you better buckle in. Love keeps you on your toes. It never stops, only grows. Love isn't easy, it's a commitment, especially when they're being their most resistant. Love is finding the right seat so you can take a breath. But remember, love isn't lax, it always double checks. Check that your kids are in the right seat at NHTSA.gov/the right seat.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. Innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world. They're skilled experts, discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, leading by example. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org.
Maryland health leaders and the county council are bracing for the potential impact of federal cuts to Medicaid. The county council, which operates at the Board of Health, held a meeting this afternoon. The topic on the table was the overall impact that federal cuts to Medicaid could have to Maryland and Prince George's. State health officials say about 1.5 million Marylanders are enrolled in Medicaid, and about 27% of them are county residents. Maryland state health leaders say federal cuts to Medicaid and the loss of federal funds could result in the state potentially losing between $1 to $2 billion.
Cuts that are being considered are significant cuts to the program. They're significant cuts to potential change in scope of services that individuals receive. And again, I would point to that there are significant downstream impacts, not just on individuals who receive coverage, who depend on Medicaid as a lifeline for their care and services and their family, but also for the providers that serve them.
Maryland health leaders want to emphasize that Medicaid is one of the state's largest and most effective anti-poverty programs. The University of Maryland Medical System files a complaint against a Medicaid managed care organization. The lawsuit is against Maryland Physicians Care, MCO. It alleges that the group denied claims for services. Some of the claims for services that were allegedly denied includes emergency room visits, COVID-19 treatments, and babies born prematurely. The suit seeks to recover $15 million for unpaid services for more than 15,000 patients.
Meanwhile, a major step forward in the fight against the opioid crisis, and Maryland is set to receive a big payout. Purdue Pharma, the maker of OxyContin, has reached a tentative $7.4 billion settlement over its role in fueling the epidemic. If finalized, Maryland could get more than $90 million. Attorney General Anthony Brown says that money would help fund addiction treatment and recovery programs across the state. It's a potential turning point in one of the deadliest public health crises Maryland has ever faced.
The pharmacy chain Rite Aid has just announced it will shutter more stores across Maryland. This is its second round of closings after filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 2023. Nationwide, the drugstore giant plans to close at least 100 more stores. In May, Rite Aid filed its second bankruptcy in just 2 years. The pharmacy follows the trend of many struggling retailers facing increased competition from online retailers.
Well, some efforts to protect older citizens from becoming victims of financial fraud continue in Maryland. Protect Week runs June 16th through the 20th, and throughout the state, workshops, webinars, and other activities are planned to combat financial exploitation. According to AARP, older Americans reported nearly $5 billion in losses in 2024. That's up 24% from the previous year. Scammers conned Jane Dean of more than $26,000.
What I want you all to know is that victims chastise themselves when they realize they're a victim of a scam. They think that they're stupid, that they didn't pay attention to the red flags. And it is the criminal who is to blame, not the victim.
And for more information on Protect Week activities, go to aarp.org/Maryland. And so to come on CTV News, the Trump administration wants to make changes that could impact millions of college students.
Find out why they say the cuts are needed after the break.
When I first met you, I had a newborn son, and throughout that process, you introduced yourself into my life.
The tremors, the body shakes, those things I'll never forget.
You're in my brain, you're in my spine, and because you're in those places, you're in every part of me.
When I got the MRI, I was like, that's a shocking turn. I'm not supposed to live with the mess.
So these tears is actually joy because of all the things I can do.
I became stronger the moment you told me that I'd never be strong again.
If I can face MS, I can face anything.
A cure for me would be to go back to where I was.
A cure would stop you dead in your tracks.
And when we get you, it's going to be a great day.
We gotta end this cycle. It ends here.
MS ends with us.
Welcome back. Maryland universities are providing support for the thousands of laid-off federal workers. Some Maryland colleges and universities announced measures to support the state's population of workers who have been displaced due to layoffs or changes in government funding. Hood College announced a 2-day immersive workshop to help displaced scientists explore entrepreneurship. UMGC has a new scholarships for laid-off workers, and UMD launched Pathways Forward Hub for education and entrepreneurship. These initiatives supplement a slew of support programs recently introduced by Governor Wes Moore's administration for former federal workers.
A new federal proposal could hit college students right in the wallet. The Trump administration is pushing to cut the maximum Pell Grant by nearly $2,000, slashing aid for millions of low-income students across the country. The U.S. Education Department says the cuts are needed to address a funding shortfall, but critics warn it could lead to more student debt, fewer graduates, and a bigger strain on the economy. In Maryland, nearly a third of undergraduates rely on Pell Grants to pay for tuition. The Trump administration insists it still supports the program, but says it needs to be reimagined to align with national economic priorities.
And drivers, listen up. Big changes are coming to speed cameras in the state. Starting October 1st, fines for speeding will no longer be one size fits all. Maryland Governor Wes Moore just signed new laws that bring stiffer penalties, up to $425 for the worst offenders. Here in Prince George's, the focus is on Indian Head Highway, long known for dangerous driving. The county's been using speed cameras since 2018, and now they're allowed to post up to 6 along the stretch. The goal is to crack down on reckless speeding and make one of the region's deadliest roads safer.
The price tag on your next vehicle may not go up just yet, but hidden costs are already rolling in. Experts say tariffs on imported vehicles will hit dealers' lots later this summer, but automakers are quietly securing profits now in other ways, like cutting back on cashback deals and low-interest financing. The cost to ship to dealers is also rising by as much as $400. Auto experts warn that while sticker prices may look the same, fewer incentives and higher fees means buyers could now pay more than they think. If you're in the market to buy, experts say trading in your current vehicle just may be your best bargaining chip. And no more flights to BWI. Budget airline Icelandic Airplay will stop flying to Baltimore Washington International Thurgood Marshall Airport this fall.
The low-cost carrier offered discounted flights between the East Coast and mainland Europe with layovers in its Iceland hub. The decision comes as the airline is making changes to their business model, prioritizing leisure travel from Iceland to warmer destinations. Play's last flight out of BWI is on October 24th. All right, sports fans, don't move. Simon Buggs is here with our Tuesday Sports page.
That's right. What's going on in the world of sports, Simon?
Stay right there, everybody, because coming right up, a pitcher from the Chesapeake Bay Sox receives a major honor. That story and more after the break. Stay tuned.
Danny.
See me after class.
Okay, so, Jennifer? Yeah? Okay, let me know.
Danny, I just got this notice from your school. We need to talk. This is important. We need to talk.
Danny, wake up!
Danny, laps.
Danny, she's overdosing.
When no one else knows what to do, it's gotta be you. Carry naloxone. You could save a life.
Okay, everybody, we begin today's sports page with some news from the Diamond as the Baltimore Orioles look to grab their 31st win of the season last night against the Tampa Bay Rays. But the Birds struggled offensively and lost the game 7-1. A big reason for Baltimore having a tough time on the offensive end was due to the Rays pitching, as Ryan Pepio had a season-high 11 strikeouts in the matchup. And catcher Adley Rutschman gave his thoughts on what makes a 27-year-old difficult to score against.
He's got a really good fastball, and changeup's got a lot of depth to it, and he, for lefties, complements that cutter slider off of it. So just does a good job of working ahead and using his strengths.
Rutschman and the rest of the team will get another crack at Tampa Bay tonight at 7:35. Hopefully they can get the win. Moving on to news from the Orioles minor league affiliate, congratulations to Chesapeake Bay Sox pitcher Nestor German for being named the Eastern League Pitcher of the Week. This comes after he threw a career-high 6 scoreless innings and allowed just 1 hit and a walk in the team's game against the Harrisburg Senators this past Friday. The Seattle native is the first Bay Sox pitcher to receive the honor this season and is the first to be named since Alex Pham last July. The Bay Sox will take the Diamondbacks versus the Erie Seawolves tonight at 6:05. Meantime, Commanders linebacker Bobby Wagner has accomplished it all. The LA native has been a Pro Bowler, an All-Pro, and even won a Super Bowl. There's no doubt his legacy is cemented, and he has a spot waiting for him in the Hall of Fame. But the 34-year-old still chooses to suit up as he is going into year 14. Here's Wagner on what keeps him motivated after all these years.
Greatness, man. I want to be great. I think the thing that's been dope is the players, the people that I play with, the coaches. They make it fun to come to work every day. And, I want to win for them, and I want to continue to be successful with them. Not just by myself.
And wrapping up sports, the Washington Mystics will be in the Windy City tonight to try and get their 5th win of the season against the Chicago Sky. Tip-off is at 8 o'clock. And that wraps up your Tuesday sports page. Simon Bugs, CTV Sports.
All right, Simon, thanks so much. Let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, we have a chance of showers again. What else is new? And we are under a flood watch. Tomorrow is going to be 92 degrees and more rain is on the way. Thursday for Juneteenth, it's going to be sunny with a high of 93. Showers and thunderstorms are likely after 2 p.m. Friday, sunny days are ahead. We get a nice and clear day with a high of 88 and a low of 70.
And for our community calendar, tomorrow afternoon, the Hillcrest Heights Library is hosting a Fresh Voices open mic hosted by the dialect poets of Prince George's County. Enjoy DJ Frank on the 1s and 2s, share your own poem, rap, or song, and watch artist Ben Beauty bring the event to life with a live painting session. The event takes place from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. For more information, contact 301-630-4900. And that wraps up CTV News for now. Thank you for joining us.
We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good night.